Hopefully the audio is good. So, hey, Kathy and Ron, while you're here, let's make sure. Actually, it shouldn't be playing anything from here. It's when I go to the other video that it does that. I'll probably jump back and forth and just fix this countdown. It's 1 minute off anyway. So, Kathy and Ron are here, and we're about to go live. But let me know if my audio starts making that distortion sound. I think this was causing it, and I'm not using it today. In fact, I'm going to unplug it and make sure it's off. James Lloyd. Oh, yeah. Sorry, buddy. No. Let's get that off there. But Clarence says I should give some more weight of these away. We'll do it next week. We'll do it in 2 weeks. Yeah, here we go. So we're live early because I haven't actually set up the live stream beforehand. It got crazy on me and I did not get to it. I couldn't believe it. I realized, wait a sec, Tuesday was yesterday. And I was thinking I was maybe ahead of schedule. I need to turn myself off because I'm too loud right there. But we are going to be playing some of that audio today. In fact, I'm going to need those. Let's use a different headphone today. What options do I have, though? Those are my only options. Hopefully, you know what? Let's see. No, I have to use them because you won't be able to hear what I'm playing except it coming through there. So maybe I will just keep these on today, but I just hope I don't cause any of the distortion that was happening. So last week, for those of you who are hanging out, you probably heard that distortion during Clarence Spencer's and I's discussion. It happened a few times, a few too many, to be honest. And also, my focus is off. This camera lens has stopped autofocusing. When it goes to autofocus, it rotates and then turns the camera off. So that's over for me. So I need to make sure I get another. What am I at? You know, I am at 24 millimeters, so I could use my Rokinon. My Rokinon doesn't come with autofocus, so it's the same as it is right there. But anyhow, we're live right now because I didn't set this all up, but we'll be live leading into the episode of the day. Just let me know if this just causes distortion. It's been 6 years, and I've used this same cable, or one of 3 like it, ever since the beginning. So most likely, I also need to upgrade my XLR cable that's plugged in here. It could need some extra, I don't know, just a nicer quality cable that I purchased to make sure it ignores some of the radio signal in the room, so I don't have that distortion that comes in. Howdy from Harriman. Hey, Drew, I could drive to your house right after this episode. Let's go do something. Actually, we need to do something, everybody here in Utah. I was thinking about doing a listener adventure, and I haven't planned it, but we're going to. So, yeah, we're going to test some audio. I'm also going to jump back and forth in here, so you guys are just going to come along for the ride. So right here, you can see how the live video chat has nothing until I go in and paste this and hit enter, and boom, there we are there. You can hear me. If I go over to the iMac screen and show this, and I turn this on, it should be doubled up. Yeah, you're hearing that desktop audio. Now here's the thing that we need to test today, is I am going to react to some of my old videos. That's the goal. And there's going to be me playing these old videos while I talk to you. And so you guys are all my guinea pigs since you're here early. Let's make some decisions on volume. So let's open up the other video. The other one, I think we gotta watch the whole thing, but let's see if that's too much. This is the Goosenecks and Goblin video, view on YouTube. Let's hear it. So as I'm playing it, tell me if the volume and my voice right now is just terrible. Let me know if that is too much. And let's also think, how do I want to do this? I think what I want to do is get rid of the banner, focus on the video. I just feel like I need to make me maybe smaller today. When I'm looking at the video like this, I'm looking away. but I feel like there's a lot of information up in the top right corner more than the top right. I don't know. Maybe I just need to move this window down a little bit. Yeah, let's do this today. And then let's turn on the small chat. So I'm waiting a little bit to see if you guys can hear the evolution of my beard through the years. Just let me know if you think that the audio is good or bad. How do we fit this better? I need really small chat. Maybe I move this all the way up to the top, and I move chat down, and I mean that's weak sauce. You guys can't read that, right? I mean, if I put the chat down there in that corner, that wouldn't be anything. If you're just joining us now, we're not live yet. Oh, I don't even have my watch. 2 minutes until I go 10 minutes until. But I'm talking over this loud audio, and I don't know if it's terrible. Video is a little low, actually. All right, let's try this now, Drew. See if that one works. And let me know if this is barely a beard in this video. Yeah, there won't be. I mean, I guess unshaven a little bit. I'm still using the GoPro.
So here we are.
Oh, I gotta stop reacting. Okay, I gotta rewind it because I can't react to new stuff. So let's find out. Video is a little low. I want to talk over it, but not over the whole thing, obviously. Let's do it. So how's the audio, Drew? I'm gonna give you 20 seconds. Let me know. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to hurry in 20 seconds. I'm saying it'll take about 20 to 30 seconds before you know I asked you that question. It comes off as like you got 20 seconds. Oh, color block. I thought it said color black, and I was like, oh, I want black color.
This world gets easier with reason and rhyme, and it feels so right.
Behind everything. Oh, even behind the main piece.
Yeah, I've been through changes.
Maybe I can put the PA banner back. What do you guys think? Video down just a notch. Okay, cool. I love it. Thanks for the help. I think we'll settle on that one and we'll fix it next. I want to be able to basically pause it and talk, but if I say something while the video is going on, I want you guys to not be unable to hear. But how's the chat? Is that chat just useless underneath me? I'll have to fix that. But let's go back to the lobby while we have a chance because it's 50 minutes to go. So lobby chat with countdown. And I'm going to change this countdown to the 10-minute countdown. All right, because we only have 10 minutes to go before we're live. Now when people come in, they won't be totally confused as to what the heck I was doing there. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to look real quick. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. But I can rewind it. No, I can't rewind it. Hey, 11 of you are here. Awesome, sweet. We're getting live. We're going live here in about 9 minutes, and we are going to do a hangout today. It's been 6 years since I've done this YouTube channel, began it. And so, honestly, there's a bunch of things that I want to teach in Milky Way Wednesday, but I also want to end the year celebrating some of the lessons learned this year, as well as some of my favorite lessons of all time. So I'll tell you guys all in the live stream because that's the idea is to talk to everyone and get a little bit of a feedback. So, all right, who else was here that I haven't noticed? Drew, Ron, Kathy. No one else has said hi, but hey ya. I should probably go put, I'll let you guys in on a secret that I actually put on makeup when I do my live streams sometimes if I don't forget. And I just put myself on a base layer so that, I think that's what causes it, is resting my headphones on that especially. I put on a base layer so I don't get all shiny. So I'm going to go give myself some, weatherman makeup, we'll call it. Apolitical Dad. Greetings from the East Coast. Tony. Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. I don't know how old you are. Are you and I similar? But did you ever play Grand Theft Auto 3? There was Chatterbox, and there was this one scene in Chatterbox. So basically, it's a terrible game where you go around beating people, killing people, and driving around stealing cars. Obviously, as a little kid, I thought it was hilarious. But as a man, I'm thinking, yeah, it wasn't too, classy. But anyway, Grand Theft Auto, when you're in the car, you can change the radio station. And one of the radio stations was Chatterbox. And Chatterbox had this one guy call in named Tony. And they're like, hey, what's your name, sir? And he's like, no, I don't want to give my name out. And he's like, okay, sure. What's your problem, sir? And he's like, well, my mom. It's my ma. He goes, it's my ma. She's always going, you're not a real man, Tony. Why can't you be like your dad? Why can't you be a real man, Tony? And then she's always mad at me, Tony this and Tony that, Tony. And they're like, well, Tony, hey, how'd you know my name was Tony? I can't find that. I can't play it on here. I don't think I'm even legally able to with copyright. But he just says his name 6 times talking about what happened to him. Tony. So whenever I hear someone named Tony, I always hear that bit back and forth in my head. Why can't you be a real man, Tony? Well, Tony, how'd you know my name was Tony? Well, sir. It's not funny out of context, I bet. I'm the only one enjoying this right now. But Joe is here. Joe, I have not actually heard from Joe in a long time. Unless you've been in the background and not saying anything, Joe, welcome in. It's funny that I didn't get a chance to email everybody today about the live stream like I do typically to the email list. And I'm wondering, how it will go with the audience numbers. And today is a relaxed one, too, where we're not going to have a huge, massive lesson, but there's going to be some lessons mentioned as I go through my first year of Milky Way photography. I was telling those who are already here, it's 6 years, and so I want to celebrate in our final weeks. I was looking at the calendar. Oh, what? That's probably really loud. I hit a water bottle. You know how water bottles sound like bones breaking. But the calendar, I'm looking at it. It's like, okay, well, we can't do next Wednesday, the 23rd. It's Thanksgiving the next day. Everyone should just be with their families. But November 30th, I'll be back, and then I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's only 5 more Milky Way Wednesdays in 2023. And in December, we're priming the pump for what is going to be 2023's main purpose of Milky Way Wednesday, Milky Way Guild, everything. It is going to be a lot more interactive with all of you on top of the lessons every Wednesday. So we're going to have some fun with that. Sorry, I dropped out of the community for a while, he said. Didn't even photo the Milky Way this year. Oh, no. The whole year, Joe? That's crazy because Joe is a brilliant photographer, so it's too bad. Been crazy busy with work. Honestly, 2022 was not the full of adventure year I thought it would be. Obviously, with my workshops, I got to go, but there hasn't been as many for me. And so making winter into this challenge that we're going to be stronger in the winter is really going to be nice. Oh, I got to go put my stage makeup on. Woo. So with 5 minutes to go, I'm going to make you guys watch these, and then I'll come back and we'll go into the last one. So that way there's something going on while you're waiting. I like this video. It's going to have the wrong countdown. We'll go in order? I don't know. Thanksgiving Eve is not spent with family here. It's the busiest bar night of the year. Yeah, okay, I can imagine that in Chicago, but honestly, you shouldn't be here then either. You should be at the bar, Kathy, so have fun. And unless you're on your phone watching me still, that's crazy talk. But it is 4 minutes roughly, so let's just go ahead, watch this video yet again, and then I'll be back. Getting focus is one of the tougher things to do with your stars, and mostly it's just you fighting with your camera gear, especially when you're really wishing that your star was like a perfect little circle, but it's not. It's more like this shape. You've got this shape that you're trying to go, oh, okay, that's the best, tightest circle I can get. Your stars won't be circles. They will just be orbs of white that finally have a shape. And that tightest shape that you could possibly make it is what you end up with. How do you get there? How do you find this? Let me tell you. This is my Carson Lumiloop. Right here above of this is a link, a quick text link, so you can go watch that focus video right now. But this is my #1 tip for getting great focus when I'm doing Milky Way photography. I take this because it has a plastic cup. It keeps it perfect distance from it. Flush right up against my LCD screen. and then I tweak it until I get the perfect focus. There's one more tip that I want to give you tonight, and it is one that if you have really good vision and you can see dots on the back of your LCD screen, this is going to be a quick tip to help you know, oh wow, okay, I can see the dots, I'm out of focus. Check out this clip of me in Escalante explaining it right there on scene. There's a way you can quickly see the difference on the back of your screen, even if you're not sure if you quite nailed the focus. Look at the difference. Can you notice the difference between them? This is just slightly out of focus, and yet I can tell immediately that I missed. And what is it that's giving it away? It's the brighter magnitude stars. Are there too many dots? If you start to see the stars as more than just a sea of specks of sand, but you start to see the brightest magnitude stars standing out, that's when you know you're out of focus. As I go more out of focus, watch how the brighter magnitude stars start to pop off the screen. And then here's even greater out of focus. It's so obvious when you look at it this way. If you're seeing a whole sea of stars, but there's standouts, if you have a lot of standouts, if you have just a few, and look at this image, this one you can see that there's definitely a few that stand out that are really bright. Antares, the planets, obvious ones, they're standing out. Back here, though, when I go over, there's a sea of them from corner to corner, middle, far left, far right. So if you have too many dots, that means the brightest magnitude stars are standing out. And when those brightest magnitude stars stand out, you know it's gone a little too far on the out of focus range. So try again. Awesome. Thank you for watching yet another 2-minute tip. I want to making sure your lens is as open as possible is the easy mode best way to get a solid Milky Way shot. So when you're thinking, what is the best lens choice for Milky Way photography? Listen to old Aaron give you some tips. I say old Aaron because he has a huge beard. The first thing you're looking for is an aperture of f2.8 or greater. Check out this shot of my Rokinon. As you're looking at the aperture change from f22 all the way back down to f1.4, you can see how much awesome space there is in that light bucket of a lens to capture as much light in and get to the sensor without having to bring up my ISO too much to amplify the existing light. So when you're looking at your lenses, choose something that's f2.8 or greater. f1.4 is this Rokinon, and it is fantastic. Let's talk about the second thing, the focal length of your lens. That focal length choice is basically you're going to be as wide as possible from fisheye to about 50 millimeter. Those are your best ranges. What if I'm concerned about getting a zoom? Should I avoid zoom lenses? Heavens no. The fact that my Rokinon is better than my Tamron is not because it's just a prime versus a zoom question. While prime is fantastic, has high quality, and it will give you really great quality glass and clarity on the Milky Way, if this was an f3.5 and prime versus a zoom 2.8, the one I'd go with instantly is the f2.8. Lastly, you might look at this Rokinon and say, this doesn't have any autofocus. If no autofocus, this is going to be a frustrating lens to have in my bag. Well, for Milky Way photography, you are always going to be in manual focus. Look at your lenses. What do you have? Do you only have a 50 millimeter that's f1.8 or 1.4 or 1.2? Then go with the 50 millimeter. You will have to do a panorama, so stay tuned for a later video where I'm going to talk about panoramas, and you guys can get out there with a fantastic lens for Milky Way. You don't even have to go and buy a new one so long as you have something that fits in this category, f2.8 or greater, and it's going to be something from fisheye to 50 millimeter. Anything in that range is gonna be solid for Milky Way photography. And that concludes our 2-minute Milky Way tip for today. I'm Aaron King with Photog Adventures. If you have any more questions, send me a message. Write it down in the comments below. If you want to learn more about what lenses to use and go further than this, then I recommend that you join me over on the Milky Way Photographer's Gift. And here we go. Yes, I'm checking the audio. The audio is solid. I have these headphones far away, so they're not making any issue. And welcome in, everybody. It is, oh, interesting. Opener with the Milky Way logo. That's right. It never has the banner. It never had the banner down here. Just noticing some, work that I need to do in the background for what I can change. In fact, I kind of want to show you my new toy. Where is it? how often have you seen me come into a live stream and actually have, I'm glazing. I'm gazing over here, trying to find the mouse click to move my finger down, like, beep, beep, boop. Well, there's all these different instruments that are controlling this. This episode today is all about celebrating the 6 years and changes of Milky Way Wednesday, Photog Adventures, and it's just there's so much going on leading into 2023 that I want to take a moment and catch my breath for a bit and just celebrate it and have fun. And I can't do Milky Way Wednesday without just pinballing, ping pong, bow bow, all over the place and not just, focus. So welcome in. Let's do this again. Hey, welcome into Photog. You see, this is what happens when you do it when you're recording, is that you're thinking you have this script, so you're like, okay, now I'm going to say it. So instead, I got the whole line wrong. Welcome into Milky Way Wednesday. I'm Aaron King, and it went away. It works. So welcome in, everybody. Let's check out the chat right now to see who's here. So I am right here clicking buttons, and that's the way that this whole thing works. In fact, I have referred to these things in funny ways that you're probably wondering about. So for instance, here's my iMac screen. Look at my windows of infinity right here. These are all the buttons and stuff that I'm hitting to change things. Like, I want to see the live chat. I don't want to see the live chat. Let's put the live chat back on. No, let's not use the big one. Let's use this small live chat that you're seeing right below me right here, which, is a little bit too small maybe. We were talking about this before we went live, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's not going to work. But I think it's something, and everyone can be a part of it, so I can even quickly see that Joe says, hey, how's Brendan doing? Miss that guy. I have no idea how he's doing. That guy, when he bailed in 2019, he bailed fully, and he just doesn't even talk to me. He didn't leave angry, but he never talks to me, so he must have left angry. But I really don't know the full story. I love the guy, too, and I actually, too, miss him. Totally missed him, which we'll have fun celebrating him today. But you can see all the different stuff I have. Like, here's the lobby chat with countdown. I click on this, and you can't see it anymore. You only see the lobby. That's right. You can't see it when I change the scene unless I do it this way. So let's go ahead and do the iMac screen again. And I'm going to transition. So now you can see the different versions. In this screen, it's still you seeing what I'm seeing. So you should still be seeing everything. And I have all these different windows. The lobby video, lobby with video 2 with the countdown, the opener with the Milky Way logo, which won't play until I transition. And that plays the whole thing and then finishes the video and I start talking to you. So Milky Way Wednesday has grown a lot as I've changed things. I mean, we'll even have to look at some of the old footage of it while I'm going through this. So just a quick behind the scenes of what it is, what all of this stuff is that I'm working with when I'm making the live stream. And as you saw, I pretty much have, I'm still showing the iMac screen, which is then showing this, which made me confused. So let's go in here and get a full big window to show off my Stream Deck. I haven't been sponsored or anything, but Stream Deck, if you want to, I'd love to take your sponsorship. But this thing, as you cannot see, because my autofocus is broken. In fact, how's my focus right now? I'm out of focus here, kind of in focus here. I could use some tweaking of that. Let me know if it bothers anyone's eyes, because I have to guess. But this Stream Deck's going to make it easier for me to just be like pop, 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 hit buttons, transition scenes. I won't have to move my mouse brilliantly and perfectly to go down and hit that. So like I said, changes are coming. It's going to be fun. Well, here as I celebrate the end of 2022, I looked at the calendar. In fact, join me, friends, for the calendar. Let's go over to the iMac screen. Interesting. That's really small. Why is it so small? Is it because I changed the size? It is because I changed the size. Let's go ahead and go full again for now. Let's keep it this small because that's what's going to happen this episode, because we're going to be reacting to videos and having fun. So this right here is the calendar of the rest of the year. We've got 23rd, it's right before Thanksgiving. We're not going to do a Milky Way Wednesday next Wednesday. Let's not bother with it. But we are going to do one on the 30th, which puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks left for 2023. And when we come in on the 30th, we're going to prime the pump for what is going to be the reality going forward. Now, what does that mean, Aaron? What that means is that we are going to get more interactive. I'm also going to require stuff from all of you. And that stuff is, we're going to have some challenges. And these challenges are going to inform us how you're doing and inform me how you are succeeding in your Milky Way photography. And it's going to be a fun chance for us all to celebrate what you're working on. I'm going to move this chair over. It doesn't look great on the video, but I just need something to hold those headphones. So, first challenge is going to be a winter Milky Way panorama. That's already our challenge for this year. And December's a harder month than January and February, but I'm still going to put it on you. Now, that means going out and capturing a winter Milky Way. Let's not say pano, Aaron. Let's give them a chance to not stay up all night. We'll make it a full pano challenge in January, because in January, what do our notes say? Our notes say in January, going back, if I bring this page up and we can all be a part of it, our winter Milky Way has a pano in November. That's 4 a.m. till the morning. 4 a.m. to the morning is not a lot of time. December and January, though, it's 1 a.m. to morning. So December can work. We're not going to make it easy. We're going to make it hard. All right, good. So there's going to be a challenge. You're going to have the challenge to get your Milky Winter panorama in December. And what happens is that you're going to share with me those images. And I'm going to pick my favorites from them, and we're going to celebrate them the way that I do Moment of Envies. If you've been around long enough and you see me do a Moment of Envy, you know that I take your picture, I put it on my iPad, and I'm drawing on it saying, this is what works great about this picture. This is working really great with this picture. The way that you've done this, the way you've balanced out the composition like this. I love featuring someone's images and talking about what makes me jealous about what's working. It's like, oh, I wish that was my picture. Oh, that looks so cool the way you did this. And that is what we're going to do throughout 2023. We're going to have challenges. Now, what I'm going to do is the Milky Way Photographers Guild is a $5 a month membership guild, but I'm going to create a free stage for it. Now, this stage is going to be boring and minimal. The idea is that you support the show and jump in at the $5 a month. But if you want to save money and you just don't care about anything else, the stage will be there where you can show up, come in, and talk about that month's challenge and even submit your challenge. But I will not lie, I will probably favor those of them in the guild that have sent in their images and bring in a few at the end. How can I do this fairly? First 40 minutes of any review week will be guildies only, and then I get to the rest. And the rest is no promise I get to yours. Neither should there be a promise I get to every guildie, unless the guildies are just so sweet. I mean, if you get so prolific that there's so many images, I can't do them all, then I can't promise anyone anything. But if there's like 10 guildies, I'll get to all of them. I just have to not be long-winded. Is that possible that you're not long-winded? No, it's not. It's not. We'll figure it out. So in the year of 2023, starting in December, I am going to have one Milky Way Wednesday a month dedicated to reviewing images that's at the end of the month. So the end of every month, the last Wednesday of every month, what's the last Wednesday of December? Oh, you know what? I counted 5, but I might be a little too optimistic. Okay, the 21st, that's far enough from Christmas. The 28th, we're not going to have a Milky Way Wednesday on the 28th. We're going to end the year on the 21st. I'm going to wish everyone happy holidays. So we have 4 more Milky Way Wednesdays, not 5. So again, there will be none on the 23rd. Next Wednesday, no Milky Way Wednesday. We'll be back on the 30th, the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st. And then the year is over. Milky Way Wednesday will not resume until January 4th. So that means the last Milky Way Wednesday of each month will be the day dedicated to reviewing everyone's cool images and see how well they did with the challenge. And in December, the challenge is cut a little shorter than the rest of the months, as you'll need to have an image into me by the 21st. Starting with the 30th, I'm going to be taking in submissions. This first time, I am not going to require you take a new one if you've already done it. So just send me your favorite one that you've already captured for the contest in December. And then I'll pick my Photog favorite of December and celebrate you in a special way that you're just the best image. I loved it. It won my heart. So it's going to be fun each month having these different challenges, and it's also going to help me on Milky Way Wednesday to have the content be focused in a way that's like, okay, last week of the month, you are all on it with me celebrating your pictures. And it's another reason for you to keep coming. Another reason for those of you who've learned pretty much everything you possibly can from me to keep coming. And it's also fun for me because then I'm going to be participating in all these challenges. And I frankly just need it to get out sometimes in between workshops. When I go to workshops, I don't take pictures. But then I'm too exhausted to go out and take pictures on my own. So then I don't take pictures a lot, and I don't want that to be the case all the time. So is there going to be homework? Andy says, yes. Yes, the challenges, that's for sure. So that is going to be what 2023 is going to be all about. These challenges and the guild. The free staging room for those of you who are on the free membership. We'll be able to chat with other members there, but you won't have access to any of the other spaces in the guild. So if you want access to the different topics, if you want to have the freedom to see the exclusive content that this year, I have to be honest, I shared with everybody instead of making it exclusive. I apologize, guildies. But I will be doing more exclusive content for the guildies next year so that I'm more involved with what you're learning as well as giving you something back for supporting the show. So we'll be having fun with that. All right, cool. I take forever, even on just an opener. I'm already 14 minutes in, so we're going to have our first fun where I am going to show you the channel and the behind the scenes of the reality of the YouTube channel. And we're going to talk about it and share with you my first year of Photog Adventures. September 8th was the technical begin of the YouTube channel and podcast. We released 4 episodes on the YouTube channel and 4 podcast episodes that day. And then before, in March, we decided to create it, and March 8th was the first day Brendan and I ever went out together, and that was the day we decided, here's the beginning of whatever we call it, and a month later we came up with Photog Adventures. And so as I was gone September 8th, I couldn't celebrate it, or what was I doing? Is there a Milky Way Wednesday on September 8th, and I just didn't do it because of the busy schedule? I'm pretty sure I was long gone. September 7th, I had a Milky Way Wednesday, and I didn't celebrate it that day. Instead, we talked about, looks like vertical Milky Ways, something like that. Yeah, I didn't celebrate it the day before. I think I meant to, but I totally forgot. So now I got to celebrate for the end of the year, and let's just enjoy some of the stuff on the channel. So let me share my screen. So what I'm going to share with you is the channel analytics as you look at the first year of Photog Adventures. In fact, let's just go over here and show you a thing that I need to teach everybody. This is a new element of YouTube, and I want to make sure everyone's clear on what's happening. I didn't know it was happening, and I looked at the channel and I'm like, wait a second, where are all my videos? Because the last video I made was not the Great Milky Way Lie. That was something I made 2 months ago. So if you're looking at the channel on homepage, it's going to show just the pre-recorded videos, none of the lives. Here's all the videos, and here's all the live streams, and then the home page doesn't show any live streams except here I am live right now, but it doesn't show any other live stream except for some that just didn't kind of snuck through, I guess, even though they were live. Let's see, because I replayed, and I replayed. Yeah, I guess they weren't live. These are replays, because that is a replay. No, that wasn't a live anyway. Yeah. These are when I was gone. That's why. So if you go into the channel page and you click on live, that's where you'll see all of the recent Milky Way Wednesdays, which in one way I love. If you ever want to catch up on the Milky Way Wednesdays, Aaron taught something this year that I thought was awesome, but I can't find it. I don't want to scroll through all the videos. Now you have a quick way. Notice how my thumbnails are sometimes just chat windows. I did that because I wanted people to realize that they were live streams and not regular videos. And now I don't have to do that, which is a huge benefit for me. I like that a lot. And so if you go into the home page, you won't see any of the Milky Way Wednesdays, just the pre-recorded videos, which encourages me to fill this up more with pre-recorded videos, because now it's like, oh, you haven't done anything for 2 months. It's like, well, not really. I've actually done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cents, or maybe not 6 cents, maybe 5. I don't know. But that is worthwhile to know. All right. The other thing is this. You go into, I'm just going to share everything. So if you ever wanted to know, here it is. This is my analytics page that I know about the channel. The channel got 7,061 views this last month, and I made $38.75. In fact, I lost 15 subscribers this month. Wow. Ouch. People are unsubscribing specifically this month. That hurts. Normally the number is just a little bit positive, but ow. Maybe that's YouTube too, because I think YouTube is cleaning out some old subscribers, and it's not necessarily people who are just rejecting me as much as it's just cleaning it up. I currently have a live count of 18,403 subscribers, and if you look at, say, the money earned, this $38.75, let's look at revenue. Revenue is not intense here. It is weak. But let's look at what I've made the last 90 days, 188. You can see how I peaked in revenue when I was doing a bunch of videos, and then I go on kind of a plateau when I'm only doing live streams. Those little icons right there are live streams that I've done. So if I look at all of just 2022, we can see the peaks where I did a lot of videos, the live streams, all the Milky Way Wednesdays. You can see where I missed weeks because of workshops, and then came through consistently with Milky Way Wednesdays. So I wasn't 100%. I was really bad right here when I had workshops and I was out of town, and also just I missed 2 with just construction of my car, my house, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. But I made $678 in 2022. Let's look at my all-time lifetime YouTube earnings. YouTube earnings for 6 years of doing it, 5,790. And you know what's made the most money? Thank you, Royce Bear, is posting your video of creating natural nightscapes. He has hosted that video as well on his channel, and we've also sold a lot of his ebook from it. So it's a mutually beneficial agreement. And then the next one, which, man, doesn't come close to that one, but that one is a long video, so maybe much more ads get put in that 1-hour video, is my easy Milky Way processing, how to use photo pills, how to focus, and then star tracker versus single image, my most hated video of all time. In fact, I had just left my ex-wife, and I was living out of my car, and I hadn't started a YouTube video in a couple months, and I needed to do something, so I did this in April, and I left her in February, and I finally did this one, and I didn't do my best, I guess, because most people just did not like the video. I don't know if it was just they expected more about the verses, but I got a lot of downvotes on that one. It was interesting to see. But this is what you make on YouTube. You don't make much. And so where you really want to make money is having hundreds of thousands of views. But it is cool to look at the constant audience. So let's see. Other channels that my audience watches, obviously. And then new viewers who returned. Interesting. This is growing my audience. Low return on all of these. Interesting. But this is where everyone's actually active. Mostly from the United States, United Kingdom, Australia. And what else do I know about you? Just that you're not subscribed mostly, but that's true on every channel, is this kind of a weird ratio of 80% of people aren't subscribed and few percent are subscribed. I'm lucky that 18 actually are, and obviously mostly male. It's just obvious. And I can know your ages. Look at that. Look at Google gathering your information. And only 7.2% are over 65 years old. So if you're over 65, you're a unicorn on my channel, and I love it that you're hanging out with me. So looking at that, that's the YouTube channel. But I look at what happened in the first year. The very, very, very first video was this one. The Photog Adventures, Delta Solar Ruins. We posted it July 10th just to see what it was like to post a video. And this is a weird area in Delta that we were driving by several times. When we went to the Notch, we saw it, and we're like, let's just do a video there. Let's use your drone and have some fun with it. And that video goes like this. So then my reaction. First Photog Adventures video ever, and let me know if the audio is too loud. Some will go up, some will go down. This is a short video, right? 2 minutes, yeah. So those are just weird solar ruins. There's Brendan again, Joe. And they're supposed to be a energy supplying solar ruin. I shouldn't say ruin, but these solar panels, the way that they
So this is a piece of a solar panel.
Don't say it yet, Brendan. The panel is Fresnel lens. It's a Fresnel lens that focuses the light, and that's what it's meant to do.
On those solar ruins. And it looks kind of like hologram material. But big. It's like, it's pretty big. So you can see how it kind of reflects the light and actually it amplifies the clouds
this is
behind
just
it.
learning how to be
Now it does
YouTubers.
the thing here on the door. Into the door.
So one thing that's interesting, in the very beginning of YouTube, they didn't have anything down here. With the subscribe button, you hovered over, you can click subscribe, but they added this subscribe button later to be a graphic that it could be your choice. And so then I made our icon, the icon of Photog Adventures, the graphic there. And so in the first early videos, it's doubled up.
Similar.
2 of them. And you'll see the new ones don't have that anymore. And I don't put that down the bottom.
So is it corrugated in the texture?
Corrugated, yeah.
So, solar ruins. But the really fun one, the one that I really want to go along for the ride with you, is this next one. And we got to make sure that the audio is good, because this was our very first adventure together. This is only my second Milky Way capture of all time. This is my second experience ever capturing a Milky Way. Let's watch. Constantly update me on the volume. Let me know if the volume is bad. All right, cool. I'm gonna grab myself a celebratory beverage.
I've been through changes all of my life.
I'm hoping you guys aren't hearing it double in my mic. You guys shouldn't. Let me know if that audio is weird.
Feels so right. This feels so right. This world gets easier with reason and rhyme, and it feels so right. Yeah, I've been through changes.
It's funny, this was my first experience going through this and recording it for a video, and then I have wanted to do it like this ever since, and it always feels redundant, but never feels boring, you know? It's like, I should keep doing this, but it's the same, path, it's the same location, where you're going. Got myself a Trader Joe's ginger brew. It's non-alcoholic, in case anyone's wondering what's going to possibly do. It's going to pop here. Wow. If you never watched this video originally, this is your first chance to hang out on the real first Photog Adventure. In fact, it was coming back from this trip that I think we named Photog Adventures. We didn't even know the name at this point. I'm still using the GoPro and the selfie stick. So here we are, we set up now. We have a sunset that just happened, so we've been taking photos of that. You can see the camera set up right there. It is already in a position where I want it to be for the Milky Way shot. Milky Way will rise right over that, go like this. It is going to be fantastic. And then here we got the gooseneck of the Gooseneck State Park, and we're going to capture a lot of sweet astrophotography tonight. This is a cool area. It's hard to tell right now. We really had to capture the sunset when we had that opportunity, so we didn't waste any time filming right now. I'm hoping that the wind tonight, this tripod is trustworthy, but you sit here panicked as your camera is sitting there on the edge of a cliff. Let's see if you can even see that. No, not right now. At this point, I am only using the mic from the GoPro. I didn't even have separate mics for Brendan and I, like lapel mics that we put on. We're still figuring things out. I wish I'd have pulled this out earlier so you could have seen the edge, but let me see. Can I get... Well, you can see the cliff. So there's my camera gear set up. That's where Brendan's setting up right now. And then the edge, not a far drop. Let me step here. Not a far drop, the first ways. Then it gets further. No, I can't get any of this little light to reach over there. I'm gonna go and get the cooler that we have, as well as my telescope. I brought my awesome 6 SE from Nexstar, the Celestron Nexstar S6 SE. I brought that with me. We're gonna live under the stars tonight. The sky is pretty clear. This is the telescope that I started out my whole career of astrophotography with. I got this off of a classifieds, online, got it used. It's a 6-inch, right? Pretty sure it's a 6-inch. Oh, I'm unscrewing the top. Careful. Hip, 6-inch, Nexstar Celestron 6 SE. And you can see it's a nice Schmidt Cassegrain telescope. And I would go out alone and capture I wasn't capturing anything. I would just look at it. And I would do it out there in the dark and think, I need someone else to come with me. It's freaking me out being out here to try and find a dark, clear sky to just look at these cool things. But it's also fun to share this with other people. And so it was this that I did leading up to 2015 to get my camera and try and capture what I saw in this. And you'll see some of my attempts in this video. This is why I need that stream deck, so I can just click instead of go like that. Oops, wrong one. Not as clear as I'd want it to be, but we're going to live underneath the stars, get my telescope out, enjoy some deep sky object viewing, looking at Mars. We got Jupiter out, and then tonight is the opposition of Saturn. And so it's exactly in opposite of us, and the sun is behind us. So it's fully lighting the entire face of Saturn from our perspective. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna get my telescope, I'm gonna get our cooler with our drinks and our treats, and we'll enjoy the next 5-6 hours while we wait for the sun to go down and the Milky Way to rise. There's my sky shot only. Brendan went off and took a picture of the bathroom of the Milky Way. See how really underexposing our Milky Way so far. So you can see, here's the end of my sleeping bag. Purple, since it's my wife's old sleeping bag. And I got my chair right next to me. And then right here, there's the camera. The camera's been set up since 7 p.m. capturing blue hour, capturing the sunset, all of the surrounding terrain, and capturing the Milky Way that came up. Right now you can't see it, but there's a huge, awesome, full arc of the Milky Way. I hope you even. This is a sweet dark sight. This isn't the darkest sky you can get in Utah, but it's on the edge of the darkest sky you can find in Utah. When you look at the Bortle scale and at darksightfinder.com, you'll see that this area of the goosenecks is so close to Mexican Hat that it's not in the darkest of dark. It is in the grayer area, but it's a sweet dark sky. So there are thousands of visible stars to me right now, and sleeping under this, on the cliff edge of the goosenecks, on an awesome comfortable cot, my camera ready to go as soon as the You know, this is exactly why I have to buy a Sony. I need to get one of those Sony video cameras, just like, you know, Alan's been using, where you can see yourself in the dark. Ian Norman was the first person I saw do it, where you record yourself with that Sony, and you could see the night sky behind you. So instead of seeing me in pitch black just talking, you'd actually see me and stars and the goosenecks, and that's something that I'm going to be doing a lot more in 2023.
Morning comes, man, you really can't beat this.
Yeah, I didn't sleep very long.
And it is morning. Oh, I feel groggy. I feel underslept. And, well, I want to do it again. Good morning.
Yeah, it does not let you sleep in with the sunlight on the horizon. Like
It is 6 a.m. Crack of dawn. Monument Valley is way out there. We've got the goosenecks in front of us. And we've got a sleeping other half of the Photog Adventure is in that vehicle back there.
Look at that place. Has anyone here who's right now hanging out with me actually been to Gooseneck State Park? It's pretty fantastic. And if
Now I
you
have
guys
to
spot
wait.
the campsite,
What time is it? It is.
so one thing you're probably not seeing is all the facilities they've added. There's pavilions, there's places to sit down with tables, but the overhanging roof that they put for those little tables only kind of, I think never does the light actually cast a shadow on the table itself, but at least it'll block you from rain.
6:50 in the morning. So it's about 7 a.m. Last night when we got here, we set up around 7 p.m. We watched the sun set on the sides of the goosenecks. You see over there?
So I'm going to talk about how they're going to capture this shot.
On this,
And you can see how in the sunset, here is my foreground, but I decided to not use it because I wanted light on the bottom of this where the water is. I'm going to fast forward this to save us from that kind of time. And you can see, if you've been to the goosenecks at all, you know that all back here, there are tons of facilities now, or at least the little pavilion tables. And then I woke Brendan up.
I want to grab something to drink and something to eat. And our car's over there. So I think it's time that we
This
get
is
Brendan
June
awake.
2016, my second ever Milky Way.
Good morning, sunshine. Hey, it's probably something you could have slept through a lot longer, but I can't.
Yeah.
So I wanted something out of the car, so I figured I'd wake you up doing it. Good morning. Still waiting.
Now
We've
I'm
got
happy.
probably another hour before the light
my
is good.
laptop,
So
Got my goal 0. I got the shade set up in a way it's not windy enough to be a problem. Oh, that was comfortable. I remember us watching some Marvel movie. Can't remember which one.
set up an awning, and now we have a small little base camp with a computer where we can watch something and pass the time. And there is Brendan, who has a camera free to actually go take pictures.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I suppose I do with the Canon 70D, but I'm not going to go capture any crop scents or landscape photos. What do you think I am, an amateur? Probably won't include that part in the video.
Look how comfortable I am.
Nor will I include the part where my boobs are so pronounced.
Well, we're still here
Fat Aaron.
at
So
Goosenecks.
then we continue on hanging out all the way up until the light gets good. And I'm going to show you a time lapse of the light
Closer
getting
to 'em
better
and-
right here. And also
and
you can see that there's
maybe we
some
can crop it
people
in and show you
wrapping
guys
through.
later.
So final foreground shot. Cut off
And crop
the
it in.
time lapse. Alright, so there's a little light right there.
What's going on down there?
This is my second ever Milky Way shot. And my first one was at the Strawberry Reservoir of just the road and Milky Way sky. First one ever, and this was my actual connection to a foreground plus Milky Way. And it's crazy to think that my first ever Milky Way with the foreground was one where I had to blend it with a daytime and a nighttime shot. I overcomplicated my first image entirely, not to mention the complication I gave myself on this. So if you just join me right now, watching this video, we're reacting to my first ever video posted on the YouTube channel. The first day of 2000 of Photog Adventures was of this video, plus 3 others that made up Photog Adventures launch into the YouTube world. And I wonder if we could even see how many views we had that day. I think that information's lost.
So it says that we have 5 miles of driving through a road that has not been improved. Basically meaning it's a section of road that is not paved, not fixed.
First experience going through the Milky Way.
It's paved right here.
Yeah, video audio is overpowering my mic. All right, thanks for letting me know.
Morning back there said it would be steep, and that it would be, what else did it say?
Sweet.
Steep
So
and 5 miles
I
per
end up
hour.
going through this scared out of my mind. I'm going to turn off the desktop audio, just in case that was still overpowering. But I go through here. I've had like 3 hours of sleep, and Brendan's hugging the side where my car window is hanging over the edge. And I'm getting nervous, and then we're also getting passed by vehicles, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to die. I was so extra paranoid for no good reason. But Milky Way is cool. Cool view. We're driving up to Hanksville. We're heading on our way to Goblin Valley. So let's get us into Goblin Valley.
But we can't see land, and so we're on and off and on again. Oh, it's hard to feel it, so we pretend, and then we're off and on and off again. Oh, heaven forbid. It's the same old fire, and we can't seem to put it out. It's the same old story, getting told
My
over
introduction to
and
epidemic
over
sound, too. I found it. I use these songs for our videos.
and off
Been aimed
and
every month ever
off
since.
again. Oh, it's hard to feel it, so we pretend, and then we're off and on and off again. Oh, heaven forbid. Oh, we're just off and off and on again. Oh, it's hard to feel it.
So basically, if you look at the math of, okay, I've earned, what was it, like 5,700 on the YouTube over the entire 6 years, spending 74 months worth of Epidemic Sound membership cost of $15 a month, I'm in it to $1,110. So of that 5,700, 1,000 was gone just from that, not to mention the podcast hosting fees, the fees for hosting the websites, fees for hosting Dropbox to hold all our pictures. I probably really have spent money than earned anything, to be honest. No, well, we're not even talking about the cost of the trips. These videos bring me back to my early days of playing with the Milky Way. Seems like a long time ago, Joe says. Right?
So I basically worked really hard to find a good composition. I ended up having so many areas that looked promising, but when I got there, behind that goblin or behind this range of goblins, I would find no footholds, no place for the tripod. We came out here with an hour to spare, but that still wasn't enough, not in Goblin Valley. So when I settled on a few spots that seemed a little bit too parallel with my foreground, midground, background, I ended up finding out that they were too parallel when you took the shot. I ended up with a terrain that was set up with an element in front of the camera, an element over here in the camera, an element in the midground of the camera, and the one in the far ground, and yet the shot was one big silhouette with different shapes. It all looked like it was on the same plane anyway. It didn't look like I had something in the midground, foreground, barely in front of me, far ground. It did not have that kind of dynamic look with be secure, and then I'd leap and leap, and I'd take my chubby body and work my way through those goblins. And I still couldn't find the shot. But this shot right here, it wasn't horrible. Take a look at it. It's really colorful. The sky's really blue.
Aaron.
The rocks are really orange. Complementary colors. Can't really be disappointed, especially since this place I came for the night sky. And you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a big blue empty sky.
Sweet.
It is going to be a sweet Milky Way tonight.
So we've only got about 5 minutes left of this video. So I'm gonna let this video carry, and then we're gonna talk about those pictures and what I learned from my second ever and third ever Milky Way photo. This is very intense music for just wandering. Oh yeah, Jerry's best time lapse was at Goblin Valley. I hear you.
As you guys can probably see, let's go to this boulder right here. We've got red light and white light dancing on this goblin. We are in Goblin Valley still, and the situation is we've got a tripod out there and a tripod out a little further there that we left so we can get our gear for the rest of the night's photography of astrophotography. And well, let's look at our GPS.
So we've marked.
Here's where we are, and here's where the dropped pin is. So other than our pathway being strewn with obstacles,
Like this.
a straight walk from here should get us to that pin.
Oh, nice. And then from there, we still have to find our tripods.
Yep. And then we get our good compositions, and we get some sweet Milky Way photography. And apparently there's going to be a author from Amazon Books who makes the, let's do no advertising for him right now, but he'll be out here recording a time.
That guy was annoying too. We never saw him. We just saw his lackeys, and they were trying to tell us to leave. We're like, no, we're not leaving. We're here too. And there were plenty of other people who were also there. So the quick end of this story is that we put a pin down. Well, okay, we get to our location, and we think, all right, let's get ready for Milky Way. Oh, you don't have your lens for Milky Way? I need something from the car too. Let's put our tripods down by the compositions that we liked, and we'll just go to the car. And we start walking away from it. And we realize it's getting darker faster than we thought, and this is going to be hard to see our tripods. So let's find a pin. Let's just create a pin right now. So I put a pin down, and from that point, we walk to the cars. I am now just barely getting us back to that pin, and then we have the last, 1 minute walk to our tripods? It turned out to be much harder than we thought.
Time lapse, and we are now
It was thanks to this
a
moment.
hazard to him.
Thanks to this moment that I got my tracks app.
And
So we wander, we meet some people.
Did we
They're
go in a
laughing
circle?
at us. We're like, we go in a circle? Oh my gosh, we went in a circle.
Let moly. We found, oh, here are my rocks and my tripod. Fantastic.
Took us 30 minutes to find our tripods.
You're just kind of straight kitty corner that way, yeah, to the right a little bit.
5 minutes away.
Yeah, right down in there. I think you're facing it. Yeah.
so your shot we said we should take first, and light pick first.
Wow, guys, we did it. We did it. We found the tripods after going around a complete circle and then coming
Where do
to
we start? This is the very end
a
of the video.
tripod.
Okay, here then very end of the video. This is Brendan's image. Remember, this is our third one so far total in our lives. We're still shooting. We're still shooting at 3200 ISO. We're not pushing it. 30 seconds at f4. I mean, we're just all of our settings are completely crazy. Brendan definitely favors the blue. Let me get myself a little bit louder. All right, there we go. Nice. The fun feeling of being lost and confused in the dark. No kidding. You know, Camera Works, I've seen you for years. I'm also glad to see you back again. And Rhonda, I put reflective tape on the bottom of my legs of the tripod to help find it and not kick it over. So you can see my settings. I didn't go for f4. I'm at f2.8, but 30 seconds as well, and ISO 3200. This is my third Milky Way shot ever. But you can see how we're light painting every rock. Okay, I gotta read this note. Okay, go away. Go away, chat. Okay, I gotta get the red bar to go away. So the red bar is gonna bring this up. It says, I made an error keeping my ISO so high. I made a mistake in the moment keeping my ISO high. Should have been somewhere near 800 to eliminate noise. Yes and no, because you see, this is my shot not for the sky, but for the foreground. And I wanted to have a cleaner f8 maybe with a different ISO like 800 and then go for a longer exposure since the light is lighting the subject. But it's funny, if I meant that for the sky, that would have been nuts to say that ISO 3200 was too high. My settings for the sky, f2.8, 24 millimeter, ISO 4000. That's more like it, and 20 seconds. You know, it's okay. You can see how I burned back the details of the goblins so that I can bring in what ends up being Brendan's helping me get the rest of these painted. And it turned out fantastic. I think the one that didn't work was my sky. My sky could have been better. It's probably still too loud with that music, but I'm sorry. You can see Brendan now in that picture, and then the final. And the final just so complimentary to the sky. Absolutely loved light painting way more than blending a Milky Way. We got that goosenecks picture, and we have the Goblin Valley picture, and we'll come back to that in a second. Woo! And I think this is how the video ends. We don't even talk to you anymore. It's just like, goodbye, come join us on Facebook and Instagram and our Twitter that we never have used. Oh, what memories. What memories. All right, let's go back to my iPad to end this episode of hanging out and talking the first lessons ever learned doing Milky Way photography. And let's bring back the chat in case anyone starts talking more, because we were kind of quiet there, but we're relaxing today. That's right. We're relaxing. Small live chat. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make me bigger again. Oh, I wasn't that big. Let's go. I can't make this bigger, though. I must have been actually that big. Let's see. If I go... Well, I've never had myself that big in it. What is the iPad one? I showed you all those different settings that I use. No, I changed it for the Zoom guest. That's right. Oh, well. Small live chat. Make it bigger. Let's fit it on the screen a little bit better. And then let's just work me around it. Okay. And I probably didn't go any bigger, but I just got myself on the edges better. That's probably what I used to do. See how I got to fix all these things? Cool. We're set. So now on the iPad, let's take you over to what I was working on. When you think about the beginning of my Milky Way career and celebrate 6 years, those are the top 10 pictures. What we actually went through, I went to Tabiona and captured 5 planets in January of 2016. And then I had surgery, which was I had a hernia. Got a surgery for an inguinal canal hernia, something like that, whatever. And then I asked if anyone wanted to join me on the next new moon in March, and that's when Brendan came into the picture, and you can see how things got much busier at that point, and we went to all these different places throughout the rest of the year. And it wasn't just the new moon anymore. We're like, we could go all the way as early as the 28th and go to the 10th, and it's like, oh, the new moon's on the 4th. We got all this time. Went to Mirror Lake, Francis Peak, Guardsman Pass, did a bunch of stuff. And with that year of 2016, this is what my favorite 10 images were. You know, let's go into the pictures again. So I can zoom in this. This Canara Creek Falls picture can never be taken again because that ladder is now gone. So that's really sad. My very, very, very first image is not featured on here. It wasn't my best, but before we even went out... Oh, you know what? I think that's true. Let's find out. If I go out of this... Oh, I got to get completely out of this. Go into this. All right. When did I go to... the Trestle, Water, and Silo? That was May. Okay, so Brendan and I went out in Strawberry. Then we went out to Notch Peak into the cabin. And then I went out to Trestle, Water, Silo in May. So that means Gooseneck was not my second, and that's not my third. I captured 1, 2, 3, actually I didn't get the Milky Way there, so 2, Eureka, no, Eureka we didn't get it, but 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So Goosenecks was 7th and Goblin Valley was 8th. That's right. Because I was able to go out and capture these pictures. You know what? I'm just going to go small with them and then zoom in on them. So let's just separate these all out. Landscape 1's down here. Silo 1 right there. Put that one over here. The one that got Roger Clark mad at me over there. And then that. Boom. Now I can zoom in. So my second ever shot was this one, trying to capture it over the temple with all the light. And then a third one was between this at the water, but then I captured the silo. I've shown you guys this 1,000 times. But this was the first place where I actually tried to push in my ISO a little bit more. I think it was up to 3,200, 4,000. When we captured the gooseneck shot, this final image, I learned a lot about dealing with the blend of a daytime versus a nighttime and how I was lucky that we had such flat terrain here because then my blend was easy. Having to try and use Photoshop to blend trees and all of that you might have to run into are the most miserable things to try and blend into. So I learned to be grateful for what I had. The final image of this turned out terrific. I wish I had gotten the Milky Way even better, but it was my first 10 images of all time, so it's okay. Lots to forgive there. Then I went out on my own. Actually, Brendan and I, we met Royce Bear the night of this picture. That's when we met Royce Bear and started talking about everything, and that's what got us in with the man himself. And this is a picture I captured on my own in October of 2016, a vertical Milky Way. I did a lot of light painting and brought out the foreground, and it's a very long, straight picture. Really loved it, but my top image of 2016 wasn't even a Milky Way. I love this star trail off of Hoodoo Village. Really, really cool one. You might recall this picture. I've shown this 1,000 times. This is Hoodoo Village, and that is the same rock. Just a different angle looking at the North Star and creating that concentric ring circle. It's one image with light painting done, and then I just stopped light painting the rock and let the time lapse run the rest of the way for 3 more hours, and I captured the star trail using only 1 hour and 15 minutes. So when I think about everything that I learned from that first year of Milky Way photography, and what I did is I started off with strawberry image. Ooh, maybe I can. I know, Aaron, you do this every Milky Way Wednesday. It's not a Milky Way Wednesday unless you do this, but I think I can do this one actually fast. Huh? Oh, it's not there yet. Come on. Oh, In Studio has it. Oh, I gotta wait for it to show up. One of these is it, and there it is. My first ever image of all time. My first Milky Way ever. So to go from this to what ended up being this was the difference of March to October. And I went from very low ISO, out of focus, and very poor exposure with no foreground of interest into a scenario where I captured the goosenecks looking good. I got a foreground, and it's a Milky Way. Then I went extra mile and got a foreground light painted 8 different ways to try and blend mode it all together into what was my favorite image of all time until I captured that time lapse, or that star trail. And as I kept learning and practicing and pushing myself, some things went way better and some things were just okay. And I found out about timing of the Milky Way and the moon, the astro twilight periods, dealing with light pollution and how that makes everything blue if you work with it, and then you have a bad exposure, trying to get something of a subject that lines up with the Milky Way and takes up that negative space and complements it well. And then to end that year of 2016 with this shot, I'm very proud of how the progress went in 2016. I'm going to go through that same kind of progress and learning curve again with astro-modified winter Milky Way. And as I said in the beginning of this Milky Way Wednesday, we have a formal challenge. Not just, I challenge you to do this, it'd be fun, but a formal challenge to get out there, join me for a winter Milky Way. And on, what was the date? Let's go back over to my iPad. Today's date is the 23rd, or no, sorry, the 16th. We will not be doing Milky Way Wednesday the 23rd, but we will be doing it on the 30th. And I'll remind everyone of the challenge that day, but I'll be starting to take actual images from people who are ready to submit images that they've already done. And then we've got the 21st. The 21st is when I will actually do the review of all the images that have been submitted. And for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, in 2023, we are going to have a challenge every month where I give you a new topic at the end of the month. So the final Milky Way Wednesday of every month, if it's like December, it ends up not being the 28th because we're off for vacation. But the 21st is the final Milky Way Wednesday of the month. And that's when I will do a review of images and issue the next challenge. So every last Milky Way Wednesday of the month, you'll be getting image reviews and challenges issued, and we'll be talking about the future months. So in December, it's a winter Milky Way panorama. Do it. And in January, I haven't decided yet what I want the challenge to be. It might be a intimate starscape, something that doesn't have to be a pano, but just attract intimate starscape. I think that's what I might do for January. Chance to focus on Orion, focus on a nebula, focus on the Rho Ophiuchi. No, not until the very, very end do you see it again, but you could actually do it, but not by that Milky Way Wednesday. So we'll be having these challenges every month, all throughout 2023. They will be featured and brought up on the free page over on the Milky Way Photographers Guild, as well as they'll be talked about by me as I do a Photog favorite and feature you on the Guild as well as in the channel, and all sorts of fun stuff just to encourage us all to get out there every month and do more photography, as well as challenge ourselves on a very specific theme of photography, a Milky Way over a man-made object. Earn that achievement that you would get from MilkyWayPhotographers.com. Stuff like that, using the achievements and making it more of a challenge for us to go throughout the year. So every month going forward, Milky Way Wednesday will always have one dedicated night for reviewing your images, and we're going to start next month. And 2023 will be a lot of fun doing that. So pretty cool to look back on where we all started, he says. I thoroughly enjoyed all the podcasts and the tips, the guests, the stories of failure that were in them. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Blake says, hey everyone, better late than never. Welcome in, Blake. And Ron S., does the Winter Milky Way need to be a new picture done this year since it's our homework? No. For the first challenge in December, the Winter Milky Way Panorama, it can be one that you've already captured. If you haven't captured one yet, if you want to submit, you better do it. If you've already done it, show us what your favorite one is. Send me your favorite one. So in 2 Wednesdays, when I'm back for Milky Way Wednesday, we will go ahead and I'll show you where to submit your pictures and how to do it, so you'll know where to give me that information. But one thing that CameraWorks commented on that I wanted to show as well is that I appreciate everybody following me throughout all of this, as well as following the podcast. We were celebrating what was going on 6 years ago, and that day that I submitted these first 4 videos, September 8th, and I guess technically September 9th because they didn't finish loading because they did it all at midnight probably. These 4 videos started it all off, and then I did the solo adventure in the studio. We did a Joe Allen challenge. That's right. And actually, Hoodoo Village is where we went and did that. Supermoon into space, Dry Pond Milky Way. Yes, that posted on November 26th, but I did it in October, as well as Colors of Fall, that September video. But what I wanted to pull up was also the podcast. If you haven't been a member, haven't followed or even know about the podcast, SoundCloud's a nice and easy way to follow it and to find it, just because you can see all of the different cover art that come with the podcast. I am grateful that after a year of off, that after just 2 days, I still have 1,200 listens. You guys are awesome. And if you have any friends that are interested in a podcast, please let them know. I have a bunch of content coming out that's going to be on these Milky Way Wednesdays, as well as here on the podcast that have guests that we talking about things and teaching new stuff. And it won't always just be the challenges. I'm looking forward to the next lesson. Through the 2 weeks that I'm off for Thanksgiving, I'll be preparing this lesson, talking about light pollution and getting us a little tip sheet for dealing with light pollution in your area that is going to be imperfect. It's impossible to be one-to-one stats. The basic idea is if you have a bloom of 8, how far away do you have to go for it to be this high, this high, this high in the image? What can you expect from a bloom that big in your frame? I'll be doing the research and images for that here between now and the 30th and coming back with some answers and a tip sheet that I can share with everybody. And excited to share that. John, the unicorn. I know what you mean, John. I remember what I said earlier. Your growth as a Milky Way photographer has been obvious. Thank you for helping your viewers make similar progress. Absolutely, John. You and your dad are great, Jim. And camera works pretty cool. Okay, I already said that. Ron S. already answered that. Chris, never done a Milky Way pano, so he's going to do it, I hope. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get going on all of this, as well as I think what I'm going to do is something that I shouldn't say out loud, because whenever I do, I don't get around to it. But I'm going to try and have a schedule that you can follow on the Guild, where you'll see what's coming up on Milky Way Wednesday ahead of time. And it'll also help me prepare for all of the different, visual aids that I want. Because too often I'm in the middle of teaching something that I decided the day before. I get to that part of talking about it, I go, ooh, I could really use this visual aid. And if I prepare it more and more in advance, I could probably go through the lesson a little bit and fake teach it. That'll trigger that thought, oh, I need this visual, and I'll be able to get more visuals in advance and make this even more fun and easy. I really enjoyed putting up these big questions like this. I love doing that during the Q&A and having these pop up here. So I'm going to do some more graphics like that, which is why the Stream Deck is going to be a blast to have. So I'm excited about using this. Truth be told, I bought this 6 months ago. Just have not turned it on. So I'm looking forward to having it. So like I said, 4 more Milky Way Wednesdays before we are fully done with Milky Way Wednesdays in 2022. I love celebrating the fact that we've actually had 6 years of Photog Adventures, and many of you on this chat that I've been talking to were here for all those years. So thanks so much for being fans. Thanks so much for being a part of this. Hope to see you on the Guild. If you're not in the membership side, I hope you go to the free side. I'm still working on that this month. I will get that up and running so that the free page, the free space is available for everyone to talk more. And eventually, maybe we'll just do Milky Way Wednesdays in there and forget YouTube altogether. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it'll be necessary, but if it works well enough, my live streams there can work great. All right, cool. No more questions. Looks like they're coming through. It's already 8 o'clock. In fact, it's 8:04, so we'll be heading out of here. I'm Aaron King with Photog Adventures, and I will hang out with you in 2 weeks. Enjoy your Thanksgiving if you're in the North American continent. In the United States. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, enjoy it with your family, and I'll see you on the 30th of November. Later. And Dave, thanks so much. Fun time with you too. All right, see you all. Oh, wait. I think this goodbye thank you is going to say thanks for watching the Clarence Spencer one. I'll change it while it's sitting there, but see you later.